Hi friends, my name is Emily and welcome back to my channel. One of my last videos that I posted was building the bookshelves that you see behind me. I will link that up above if you're interested in seeing me attempting a DIY project. There was so much furniture in this office that there really wasn't the space to organize. It was just get the stuff on the shelves, get the furniture out of the room so I have the space to go through and organize. So that is what I'm going to be doing today. There is one shelf that is organized, and it is the children's lit and young adult literature along the tall wall. That is organized. I'm going to be touching the shame. So something that I did mention in the video was that having all of my books crammed into a couple of different shelves, I didn't realize how many unread books I had, and it was jarring and really confirms and supports the fact that I'm doing a no-buy year this year. I'll leave a link to my bullet journal video where I talk about that. Seeing what I own very clearly laid out like this, I have a lot of shame and guilt about how much I've acquired, and I do really want to read these things. I would like to touch all of the objects, see if there's anything in here that I am ready to let go, ready to pass on to another reader. I would like to sort of group future reading projects because I definitely picked up books with the intention of filming a small video essay or something, and then it got lost. So there are things that I want to group together. I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna film it, and you get to watch it. So today is a lazy Saturday. I'm gonna put on the glasses now that I'm done talking to you, have some glare happen, and we're gonna sort. So I think that's something I would like to achieve is keeping my TBR for 2022 altogether. I would like to really spotlight my favorite books, which are the Tamora Pierce books. I'd like to keep those up. Currently I have my writing, like my journals and bullet journals and all of that mixed in here. I think I'd like to move those down. I'm struggling with Harry Potter right now as a person who believes that trans women are women. I have some issues with J.K. Rowling and I don't know what to do with the series. I'm not ready to unhaul them because they're such a huge part of my story as a reader, but I don't really want them in the shot when I'm filming. So I've moved those down and I think those are gonna stay down there. Also heavier things. I mean, I built this myself, so I don't entirely trust it. So heavier things like children's books, there's a lot stacked, so those are going to stay down low. Okay, I think I'm going to group nonfiction together, and I'm going to put nonfiction off to the side because I actually have texts that I refer to a lot during my MA thesis and still because of my interest in children's lit and fantasy lit. I decided to pull them from my nonfiction book on the main floor and bring them up here. So I think I'm going to group nonfiction all together and keep it on that side. And can we make it prettier? I feel like that's one of the other things that I'm sort of wrestling with, is that it's not very aesthetic, right? And it's difficult to make something like this aesthetic and still have some sort of sensical order. Because by the nature of these being sort of different texts, because I like how this looks. I like having something a little bit cohesive. I think I'm gonna try and add order when and where I can. I think I'm willing to rainbow unread books. Every time I think I'm done, I find another piece. Okay. Okay, so nonfiction is rainbowed here. Various topics here. I think I might pull and group YA next, just because that is easy for me to discern, and then I can deal with the other subcategories. So that's the young adult literature. Okay, I'm gonna put Schick with my German books. There is a video for this. How do I feel about rainbowing this? All right, let's see what rainbow looks like. Okay, I'm trying to figure out how much I hate myself for rainbowing my shelves, because it splits up series, but it also looks so much cleaner. I think I'm gonna group my literary fiction together. I have all of my writing stuff together and it will be out of shot. It's really the top shelves that I want to be cute. I think what I would like to do is keep my mass markets together, but group them like with like. Even though it means like Stephen King will be in two places, Terry Pratchett will be in two places, I think the clean line is better. Terry Pratchett. How bad does that look? That doesn't look that bad. Top shelf is things that I am prioritizing. I want to make Tamora Pierce feel more special. Give her her moment, you know? Then we have my TBR and books that I have sort of set aside. If you've seen my TBR videos for 2022, you know that I have 5 books to reread, and I've reread 1 of them. Then I set myself some nonfiction. I'm gonna group that nonfiction together. Do I wanna group that nonfiction together? You know what I wanna do? This. Let's group Shirley Jackson with Shirley Jackson. Put these two little nonfiction groups together. I had a goal to read Jane Austen. We'll put her together. I had a little pile of genre fiction. We'll put the genre fiction together. I had young adult literature. And then I had 2 videos in here. Oh yeah, and I have Firestarter by Stephen King. Is there a way to give Tamora Pierce more of a moment on this end? Not really. I do think I need a bookend. Okay. What if on this end, fuck you, stay. Bookmarks, go like that. Do I like this? I think I don't know how I feel about the 2 Robin Hobb books in the middle. I think I'm gonna abandon that. Here's Bosef. Hi, buddy. Look at this corgi butt. All right, enough corgi. Yeah, we looked at your butt. Okay. So this top shelf is things that I am excited to show off, things that I really want to get to this year. Here is my poetry collection, Children's Lit. We have my nonfiction. I do like the decision to rainbow this. We have my Margaret Atwood books that I'm still holding on to because I like her writing, but she's a garbage human, so maybe when she dies I'll feel differently about reading it. Or maybe I'll just read them and not share them on the channel. I don't know. I have my general fiction. I have some fairy tale myth retellings. I have my language learning books. So I have Schick and Harry Potter auf Deutsch, and then I have Harry Potter en français. And then we have my mass markets. I did decide to put Mort there. So they're mostly mass market fantasy and science fiction. Have Stephen King, and I managed to work this so that Stephen King is next to the big Stephen Kings. Then we have genre fiction. So the top shelf, to go a little bit more in depth, these are things that I really want to read ASAP. I really want to read more of Victoria Schwab. I have some Black female authors that I really want to get to. I have Maya Angelou. I have Dion Brand's poetry that I've pulled out of the rest of my poetry. I have Toni Morrison, Octavia Butler. Then, because I host a small book club, I did put all of these small books together. Also, it's kind of nice if I'm in a reading slump to be able to just grab a small book and feel successful. I have these Monster She Wrote books. My witch is flying above them. Then we're featuring Tamora Pierce. It's more like in order of the universe. That's my little Amigurumi Alana that I made, and Faithful. I do own multiple copies of the books because I can't bring myself to write and annotate my childhood copies. That just feels sacrilege. I still read my childhood copies when I want to turn my brain off. Many copies of this series, because there's my childhood copies. There are the copies that I used during my MA thesis, so this is all specific to my MA thesis. And then I have, again, I'm precious about these notes specifically. I don't want to start overlapping my thesis notes because I get to go back to myself in like 2014, 2015 and see how I was thinking. So I have new copies for any time I read them now and make notes. So we have the Tortall books all together. Then we have the Emmeline Universe books together. I have a little Beanie Baby that looks like Faithful on this. I sorted this less aesthetically and more logically. And I feel like if you think about where I normally put the camera, that looks pretty okay, right? It looks a little bit cleaner. I think in terms of where the camera would go during a live stream and then all of my Zoom calls for work, right? Like, it's a little bit cleaner. It's a little bit less chaotic. There's some order to it. So that is how I've reorganized this for now. As I'm looking at it, I can see that authors are split up in some cases, but I think it's a lot more calming to look at. I might actually go through and sort of rainbow my poetry as well, because that's looking a little bit off right now. I do like that the top shelf is grouped by, like, the books that I want to prioritize this year is sort of grouped by like idea or mood or project. I don't know, I feel good about this. I feel good about this. And I'm also quite pleased that as I was moving things and touching things, there isn't a book that I've looked at and been like, nah, actually I don't want to read that. Like, I think it's time to pass it on. Because I was looking at titles and spines and everything here I'm still interested in for one reason or another. That makes me feel good. So even though there's a lot of like shame and guilt tied up in the fact that I have accumulated so many unread books, it does give me a good feeling that I'm not here being like, and I'm ready to unhaul them all, right? Like that I've put many dollars into something that not only am I warehousing, I have no intention of reading. It is nice to know that I would like to read these. So I think what I'm going to do is I am going to count the number of unread books and I will come back to you with a number. I thought that I had about 200 books here. I think it might be more. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna count because I want to know. Hold please. $18. 318! Oh my god. Okay, so it's 318. Oh boy. Okay. I have newly organized my 318 unread books. Given that I read about 100 books a year, it's not 2 years worth of reading, it's 3 years worth of reading, which feels like too much. I'm definitely in need of this no buy year. It makes me not want to treat myself. So part of my no buy rules are that if I feel like I'm doing really well at the end of each quarter, I can purchase one new book. And maybe I just think really hard about that one book a quarter, right? Because this 318, holy shit. Oh. On that note, I should read something. I should stop filming and start reading something. Let me know your thoughts on accumulating unread books in the comments down below. I'm not opposed to having some unread books. I don't think I'll ever be that person who has just one book on the go, but I think 318 is clearly too many. I would love to know your thoughts on building libraries for later. I know consumerism comes up a lot on BookTube, and there's always discussions around it. I would just love to hear what you have to say. Do you have plans for tackling your unread books? Did your books sort of get out of hand when you joined the online reader community? I think for me, it's not the online space as much as being a bookseller. So when I worked at Indigo, that's when this accumulated. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to my patrons who make videos like this possible. I host 2 book clubs. One is a patron-exclusive Stephen King book club in which we are reading through Stephen King's bibliography in publication order. The book that we are reading right now for March is The Dead Zone, and that is patron-exclusive. The book club that is open to everyone is a small book drop-in book club, and the book that we are reading to discuss in April is A Room of One's Own by Virginia Woolf. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you are doing well, that you are staying safe, and I will see you soon with another video. Bye!